There we go. Still waiting for a stand. Record from Timo. What did you guys do so far for the week? Any wins or struggles?
Russell, your voice is a little bit echoing. So I think that is what's making the interference.
I think it's my mic from the other phone. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Yes.
I was talking through two devices. That's why. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I've been good this whole week. Actually, I had prospects like out of surprises. I shouldn't be surprised, but okay, it's mostly referrals and mostly people that from my downlines. I did the prospects also, and so far there's possible prospects, 4 of them. I was at one this morning also, and I was supposed to go to one yesterday, but I couldn't. I don't want to go to people's houses when I feel like this, man. And so this morning I went to one of my downlines, and that's a possible. That is a yes. So I'm just waiting for the payment, and all of them already filled in the application forms. So it's gonna be within this week, as soon as the payments come. And then but that is 4 at the moment. So I wanted to go this afternoon to the other one in North Pine, but then my car, I think there was something wrong with my car. So then when I came from Bonteheuwel, I just came home and I said, okay, I will do that one tomorrow. My son must first look what's wrong with my car. I don't want to take that risk. And yeah, so tomorrow I'll do the other one. And then during this week coming, I got another 2 lined up already that I was supposed to go last week, but they weren't available. So yes, the prospecting is actually very, very positive this month. So I must say, yeah, can't complain.
Good stuff.
It seems like the hard work is now paying off from last month and the beginning of the month. So it's actually paying off now already.
Yeah.
And because it was Easter, I thought like all the years past, I didn't how can I say, concentrate a lot on Easter because for prospecting. But this year it's different. This year people is not worried about Easter, but they worried about their health. I'm actually surprised. And it's not that I went to go and look for them. The referrals came to me. Sorry. And that was for me surprising. So yes, I'm taking it all with both hands and my feet because I can't lose this. Yes, Russell. That was my week was all about. And I think that is why I was very busy, and I think that is why how can I say, didn't concentrate on my on my own health this week past. I was very, very busy. Yeah.
Okay. And Rashida, how are things going on your side?
Am I open?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, because I was struggling. I don't know this. Is it you that is playing with the? Or is it my phone? Because it's jumping up and down.
No, it's my phone. I'm looking for a video I wanted
Oh,
to
you're
share
looking
with
for
you guys.
something.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. I've got 3 people lined up for this week coming, but it's also from my downline. It's not from myself. You know, so I am excited about that. It's probably going to happen over the weekend because I think the one lady is working and the other 2 is at home, and then there's one. It's actually 4 ladies, but the one is on holiday and not sure when she's coming back. But I didn't have anything this week really because I was so busy with sewing. I had a wedding that I was busy with. The wedding was today. Only finished the stuff of yesterday, 6 o'clock. So I was extremely busy. So, you know, when I'm busy with the sewing, Russell, then everything else stops in my house. Everything is just sewing. Yeah.
What are you
So,
what are you
but
doing
then
with the
that call
sewing?
came through on Friday yesterday. And I was very excited because, you know, the sewing was now behind me and I could now concentrate again on the Neolife business because it's between my sewing and the Neolife business. You know, that's really keeping me. If the one stops and then the other one starts, you know, and that is how it goes. Yeah. So that is where I am. Yeah. For this week. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought I wanted to share tonight, seeing as it's now Easter weekend and we probably wouldn't get a lot of people on tonight. Some of the things that have been coming across on Instagram and things that can really help us to explain things better to our prospects. So I could really choose any one of these videos. That's why I'm struggling to choose one now. But maybe I should just be a bit more basic and start at the bottom with the 3 daily success habits. So I'm going to share a video quickly and maybe we can just discuss that. There's 2 videos in this folder, so let's have a look.
When they see enough, they're inspired to. When they learn enough that they want to. And when they receive it.
Sorry, let me just start that from the beginning.
People change when they hurt enough they have to. When they see enough, they're inspired to. When they learn enough that they want to. And when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change.
So it's a very short clip, but there's a part in the plan that I normally do where I talk about change. It's one of my favorite times of the part of the plan because it really gives people an idea of where they are, or it makes them maybe think about where they are and why they are where they are, because maybe they have just always been doing it that way, but that's also why they've always had it that way. So I'm just going to play it again. I wonder if I have the summary here. No, that's just the explanation of the video. I'm going to play it one more time and just take notes while he says it. And then maybe we can just discuss why sometimes when we speak to people, they're in a place where they've been doing the same thing over and over, but they're also getting the same result over and over. And without thinking about it, they just keep repeating that process. So I'll just play it one more time. Just get my keyboard ready to capture here quickly. And then we can discuss that. So one of the things that I like to talk about when we talk about the plan, or when I do the plan, is that most people change when the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain of change.
People change when they hurt enough they have to. When they see enough, they're inspired to. When they learn enough that they want to. And when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change. People change when they hurt. When they see enough, they're inspired to. when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change. People change when they hurt enough they have to, when they see enough they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change. People change when...
I just have to figure out how to stop sharing quickly. You guys get that video?
Yes, I just want to see if I got it right. They heard enough, they want to. They see enough, they inspired. They learn enough. No, if they heard enough, they have to. They see enough, they inspired. Learn enough, want to. And receive enough, they're able to.
Yes, you've got it perfect.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm thinking I'm gonna play it one more time. I see Mary Lisa coming on. I've taken the notes here. I will paste it in the chat. Evening, Mary Lisa.
I'm so sorry. I am on a different planet.
Can't be. Hey, you guys must just excuse my camera. It is really annoying. As soon as I get the other clamp thingy, then I'll be able to use my phone as a camera. Mary Lisa, just to bring you up to speed, I'm going to play a video quickly for us. I've played it a few times now because it's a very short video. It's like, I don't know, 20 seconds. But really powerful video that I think we can discuss. It's got to do with change. And I was saying that it's one of my favorite parts of the plan, where I talk about change, and most people resist the urge to change until the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain of change. Where did I put that? Under Dream Track? No, just 3 daily success habits. Sorry, I save a lot of stuff on Instagram, so let me just play it one more time. I'm gonna paste the text in the chat. People change when they hurt enough. Capture it properly here. And they hurt enough that they have to. When they see enough that they're inspired to. When they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. So I'll play it one more time.
People change when they hurt enough they have to, when they see enough they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4.
So those are the 4 times that people change according to that clip. And I thought that would be an interesting discussion. I'm just going to put my video off because I'm zooming in and out here and it's very annoying. They say that people change when they hurt enough that they have to. They see enough that they're inspired to. They learn enough that they want to, or when they receive enough that they're able to. And I thought it would be interesting discussion to discuss prospects in terms of where they are in their journey in terms of becoming a distributor or a customer. And Mary Lisa, seeing as you're the freshest on it, maybe you can give us any feedback that you've got on those thoughts. And we can have a discussion. It doesn't have to be just feedback from people.
Talk about being put on the spot.
That's how we grow.
That's my punishment. I'm just trying to think of when you talk to somebody about getting healthier and having better nutrition and diet and whatever, and they just kind of fob it off, like my neighbor who saw one of my posts on Facebook and WhatsApped me and said we need to talk. And then when I try and talk to her, suddenly she's too busy. And she's always, how did she say? I'm always up and about. So I said, yes, your health might not be, with a LOL face. But that was it. That was the last of it. So I guess when you put that into perspective, she has to become ill before she will realize that she should have spoken to me when she wanted to. So I think that's the hurt of changing, you know, when it really, really hurts and you have to change.
So they're not hurt enough that they have to, basically.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe think of Noah's Ark for some reason. And then we can come back to that. Gail? So you're
Yeah.
next on my list, yeah.
Hi, good evening, Marlisa. Good evening, everybody. Yes, Russell, I do. Yes, I can relate to this because each of my prospects that I prospected this week had something to do with this. The first prospect was a lady that used to buy the products by me, that stays near me, about a few years ago. And she always used to buy the Pro Vitality. I did prospect her regarding the business, but she were never interested because she's too busy with because she and her husband they are pastors, so she's too busy and she got a crash and all those things. So suddenly she came one evening 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't at home during the day. And then she told my daughter to just ask me to come around to her. And I didn't know what it was. It was all about, I thought it was something to do with the church work. But when I came there, I was surprised. She and she has got a friend that also, the two of them went to the doctor that same day for the yearly checkup. And when they came from the doctor, they were so disappointed because what they never knew they had high blood. They never knew they were diabetes. They never knew a lot of things, ailments that came up by the doctor's diagnosis. And they refused that. And then she was reminded that a few years ago she got products from me, and then she came to me, and then I went to her, and then she wanted to start again. So this time I told her she need to detox because I did advise that to her a few years ago. And then for me, that is that they learn enough what to do. I'm not sure whether
Okay,
that
I'll
is
read it quickly.
falling
It's
there.
learn enough that they want to.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So that was the one. And then she also recruited somebody, the lady that is also with her. She's also a pastoress, and she also had the same diagnosis that day. She's more healthier minded than this one. Then there was other one that was a referral to me, and they also had in the family people that used the products, but she weren't interested at that time. And now she's being diagnosed, and now she wants the products. And I spoke to them and advised them, and then I think that is also in the same, because I think because hurt enough, I think that they have to. I think that strongly through when you gave that fits her. The last one I did today was her friend had cancer about 6 years ago. Breast was removed, everything, and it's a closest friend. And this friend has got a business and very busy in that. So she spoke to my downline, who is a pastor, and then she mentioned this. And then for the first time, my downline spoke to her about the products. You don't want to mention the products and that because of his congregation. So for the first time, and then he gave my number and he asked her to contact me. He just said, I'm his senior manager. So I went there today and she wanted to help her friend because her friends, the cancer came and aggressively, and they're going to do a mastectomy again for the other breast on the 5th of May. And then that is where he opened his eyes and spoke to her, and she wanted the products for her friend. But when I came there and explained everything about according to products, because I said to her, I'm not talking over the phone, I want to speak to her face to face. She was interested for herself. So where did that fit in? Also learn and want to, I'm not sure. So she wanted, and then as I explained to her, then all her family ailments came out. And then she said, then this is the way she wants to go. And then she also went to another friend that she knows, but he's very young. He's only in his 20s, and he's studying scientific, and he something to do with his eye. He's semi-blind at this moment, and she immediately went to him because now is. So I think this that you gave tonight, it is so true. It's very, very good. And I learned something now. That is why people need to be drawn out in all 4 of that ways to be able to join or use the products. That is what I got out now.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
think it's
Russell.
also, thanks, Gail. I think it's also a question of our awareness as distributors, you know, because we are expected to know, we are expected to understand, and we are expected to figure out where they are so that we can meet them there and then bring them with us to where we are. Rashida, what did you get out of that video? Give Rashida a chance to figure out the muting button.
Am I on?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Russell, you know, everything that Gail said and Marilisa said, it is so true, and it actually just speaks to all of us. You know, when it comes to prospecting, you know, people, when they're really down and out, and that you have introduced the product to them, and they've maybe used the product before, and then they stopped using. And then all of a sudden, when the challenge becomes greater than what they can handle, they will come back to you and they would ask you, you know, are you still busy with that? Selling the tablets, and the more I say it's not tablets, it's supplements, and yeah, but I say, you know, those things, yeah, you know, and then they want to buy the product again. You know, I have got my downlines even, you know, that hasn't been buying from me. But when the challenge became too great for them to handle, they were actually phoning me up to ask me, what can they use? People need to go through a certain phase in their life or a challenge in life for them to be able to realize, that there is more to the the actual medication that they are taking. And just today, I was speaking to one of my cousins when he came in, because my mother had a challenge a couple of weeks now with a diabetes. The sugar levels didn't want to come down, and she started not eating, because she said every time she eats, then that just spikes the sugar. And I kept on saying, "Mommy, it's what you eat. It's the stuff that you're not supposed to eat, and you're eating it, and that is what's spiking your sugar levels." Then you also said to me, he said, he's also a diabetic, and he's now going to buy a pack at I don't know what, a health shop. And I said, just buy just buy our fiber or the botanical. I said, whatever you are telling me now. So he's saying, yeah, he used to make his concoction on it. So people's mindset, we really need to, like you say, we need to be informed with where the people are, to be able to give them the proper advice as to what to take and not, and what not to take. And he's on metformin, and he was telling me he doesn't have any problems with it, and he's got no side effects, even though he knows the side effects. That's what even your own family, they won't just buy into what you are telling them, and I was surprised, because he's much younger than what I am, but for me to, and I'm sure my aunt has spoken to him several times also with regards to the supplements, but so we need to be inspired so that we can inspire other people. So that's why we need to use the product, so that we can have our own testimonies, so that people can buy into and see what it does to us, so that they can be inspired to see if it can work for us, it can as well work for them. I was working this week with these two ladies. I was actually helping them out with this wedding, and she used to buy Calmac from me. They are twins. And I said to her, but she's got a terrible cough. And I said to her, and she said, "Oh, I don't know where you get all your energy from." She said, "You work faster than me and my sister, Rashida." She said, "Where do you get the energy from?" I said, "You stop buying Calmac." I said, "You know how much supplements I take to keep myself healthy and to be able to do the things that I want to do." She said, "Can I order a Calmac from you again? Because I desperately need a Calmac." So you see, sometimes people also need to be reminded of what the supplements can do for you. And especially if they see you and they want to know why and how come you have got so much energy, that you can run around, 2, 3 times a day, up and down, and, and not get tired or feel tired, and you never complain, and, so really, Russell, we need to be equipped enough to be able to help other people. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for that. I noticed Kulsum came on. Kulsum, are you able to speak? Good evening. I just want to confirm if you can watch the video. It's very short. It's basically.
Sorry, Russell. I just walked in now. Good evening, everybody, and Assalamu alaikum, Rashida. Sorry. What was the video all about?
So
Sorry, I didn't.
No, I'm gonna play it quickly. It's very short, so it's not a waste to go back to it, and it's worth revisiting now that we've actually discussed it. For those that have discussed it, so just give a second quickly. Come on. I must have pressed something wrong there. One more second. Success. There it is.
When people change when they hurt enough they have to, when they see enough they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the
Okay, so just to recap on that then for Coulsom's sake there. Just let me get back out of this. So the video says that people change when they hurt enough that they have to, when they see enough that they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and that they receive enough that they're able to. Mary Lisa was saying that when we talk to someone about becoming healthier, sometimes they are just too busy to speak to you about that now. Even if you know about the health challenge of this. Gail was saying that people used to buy the products. Like there was a person that ran a creche and they're both pastors and they're also just too busy. I think those are the people she mentioned that she advised them to start with a detox. And then there was another family where people used to use the products, but they weren't interested at the time. Then they were diagnosed with something and now they want the products again. And Rashida mentioned that when it comes to prospecting, when people are really down and out and you have introduced the products to them, they maybe used it before, but they stopped using it. And then the problem at some point becomes greater than they can handle. Then they come back to you and they want to start to buy the products again. So she said, Rashida was saying that we need to be inspired so that we can inspire other people. And people sometimes wonder why we get so much done, why we have so much energy, and that we need to use the product so that we have that energy and that ability to be able to help them. So that's in a nutshell what was discussed so far, Coulsom. Any thoughts on your side?
Russell, you know, I do a lot of introspection. Really looking at why I don't do well in my business or to get where I want to get to. And I think my buddy's she's on the school, so she knows that I talk a lot about these things. But the question I just asked myself yesterday or Friday, am I part of this, of the people of Cape Town? Am I really a part of the people of Cape Town? Because it seems to me that Cape Town people ask questions, and especially the, I'll say the so-called colored community. If you look at, not to make this a racist thing, but our colored people still feel, I think, the way people are flocking to sorry, buddy, this is not about the race issue, but I mean, I just had this question thing with myself. If you look at Lizette, she has so many foreigners, black people in a team. If you look at the Hazels, if you look at Hansi, then if you go to, if they go to a rally, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm seeing all the wrong things, but I was just thinking, is it because people still feel that the white people, they can trust the white people more? Because for me, it's like my job is to break through the mindset of the coloreds, not any other race, to get through to the colored people. I don't know if they're just a little bit more intelligent than some of the other, than maybe the browner or the darker skin. I don't know. Or that they have more freedom to challenge, or that they have more freedom. They feel at liberty to tell you, I don't agree. Or what is it? What is it? Am I perhaps also, this was my question to myself, are you also part of the Cape Town Coloreds? Because if I'm not going to be strong enough and show people more positivity, how am I going to get people to see that in me. Because even if I think of Lizette, for someone who speaks the English with an accent that I sometimes can't understand, although English is not my first language, but it's also not her first. But no matter what people understand from her, there's just something that draws them to her. So what is it with me that people don't? So I'm busy looking at myself all the time. And not busy looking at myself now. I've been looking at myself for a long time. How do I do my business? Now, in the beginning, I used to think, Kulsum, you came into the business. Before you came in the business, you also said it was expensive. Judy had a problem with you. Hazel had a problem with you because these things are so expensive and it's not helping. Why can't you understand that other people are also like that? Should you not? What made you change your mind? Maybe not 100%, because for me, from using nothing to using Neolife, it's a big jump. It's a big chunk out of your pocket. That is what I can say. Because I haven't used supplements before. I had my doctor's prescriptions, which you get from your medical aid. So suddenly you have to cough up, how many years ago? 1,000 Rand and more for your supplements. So it's a big chunk out of your budget. So find a way, because you can't tell people if they tell you it's expensive. They have a reason why they say it's expensive. Kulsum, find a way to win their trust, that you understand, but get them to understand also that you don't have to take, if you have a problem with your knees, you don't have to take 1, 2, 3 supplements. Because I'm not going to go anymore for decanting. Decanting is giving me headaches. So I'm not going to decant anymore. As far as I can, I'm going to try not to decant. You either buy it or you don't. And this is just me. I was thinking I must find a way and maybe workshop it with Rashida, because she's a strong person, although she's my downline. Find a way. What do you think? Or get another third person in. And what do you think of how to bridge this gap? Because I'm sure there are other people that think like me. When Judy said to me, but Kulsum, if it's expensive, it's going to help you. At least it's something that you know. If it's not going to help you with one chronic disease, immediately it's going to help you eventually. Nobody wants to know that it's going to help you in months to come. You can tell them, yes, at least give it 3 months. But you can't, you know, if you must tell somebody 1,000 Rand, if you're not going to find the quality foods on the market, you'll have to spend that every month. They can't even spend 1,000 Rand to go on a save to go on holiday, which they feel it's a need. So I need to find a way of getting people to buy into, even the poorest of the poor, to try and get to become confident, either to do the business and help themselves, or to then try and buy at least one supplement, even if you're going to stretch that supplement, that a 3NN over, that's 60, over 3 months, not even 2 months. But at least you need to use something. But you need to be very convincing. Because I'm sure it's a colored thing. I don't know. But I feel they are too at liberty to question you and to challenge you and to not want to believe in you because, and the other thing also is what I thought is that in our communities, we've had many, many parties. It's a fleur de lis party. It's a Tupperware party. It's a table charm party. It's some other glassware party. So people knew that people wanted to sell. So that mindset, you also have to change with people. We're not here to sell. We're here to educate you. But at the back of my mind, I also wanted to sell because I need to sell. I need to make a business. So I need to be strong enough so that I don't only say that I'm sharing, that I am truly sharing, or maybe say 75% sharing and 25% pushing a sale. Shouldn't be using pushing, but I need to make a sale. How else am I going to buy my supplements for free or get it for free? So I need to sell. So I think sometimes that's why I say, am I one of the Cape Town coloureds that questions everything and challenges everything and believe.
Can I cut you off there for time? Because I think we're going up. You've said these things a few times over and over now. But I don't think that you are being paranoid or unnecessary or any of those kind of things. I think that amongst the colored communities, there's definitely sort of this distrust, especially as you mentioned with the Tupperware and all of these other parties that people have been having over the years, over the decades, I suppose we should say. And just listening to some of the things you were saying, and that's why I let you sort of just vent a little bit also. I was just trying to pick off some things that Hazel has been teaching us over the years. And one thing that really stuck out for me, I'm going to mention after playing another video. I just decided recently that I've got so many of these videos that I've saved and I never ever use them. And they always tell us use a tool, don't try to explain everything. So I'm going to use a tool now, and just to play this for you quickly. There we go. Oh, I've got to go back into my list. And maybe while I'm just getting back to this, okay, there we go. I found it already. Just have a listen to this quickly. I'm going to stop the video about halfway through once the guy's made his point.
A crab riding a bike.
What else?
A magnet.
Which attracts things with a force that you cannot see, but is definitely real. Your thoughts work the same way. The more you think about something, the more you draw it to you.
Okay, so this is me thinking about pizza.
Okay, I've got a medium cheese and medium pepperoni with stuffed crust for Miranda Wells.
Did you do this?
Don't look at me.
I'm going to play another video quickly, so we can speak about the two sort of together. It's not a long video.
I'm going to show you the one secret that separates winners from losers more than anything else. If this $50 bill were available, who would want it?
Thank you.
All right, now don't go away yet. Come back. Tell us your name.
Debbie.
What did Debbie do that no one else in the audience did? She got up and she took action. See, too many times we sit around and we wait and we hope and we dream and we affirm and we pray and we meditate and we do all that. And all that's important. It's part of the process. But at a certain point, the opportunity shows up. And if you don't act, you get to sit and not have $50, okay?
Okay, so I'm just gonna stop my share quickly. So just in response to
I like that
Koosum-
one, Russell. I like that one with the dollar.
We like the $50 bills. If only we could get those $50 bills more regularly. So, cool. So I'm sorry to have cut you there. I know you were really like laying your heart out there, but I felt like you said the same things a few times. So I just wanted us to maybe discuss it. And I'm sure there's some wisdom in the group as well that can, because I don't think you're the only person thinking about these things. You want to say something as you unmuted?
Sorry, Russell, no for time. I'm glad you stopped me because I'm very much unprepared for the session. I just walked in, so I was very unprepared.
problem.
So I'm glad you stopped me. Thank you.
Okay, great. So just to recap, Coulson said that there's questions she asked herself. Is she part of the people of Cape Town? I think she was referring specifically to the colored communities. And she, from her experience recently, or from certain experiences, I will say, that people still feel that they can trust the white people more, and that people assume that you are just there to sell things to them. So the first video that I played spoke about the power of attraction. And it's all fine and well for us to sit here and discuss these things that pop up in our head, and the 80% of our experiences that we experience on a day-to-day. But we've been through the trainings already. We know that we need to put on our self-talk all the things that we want. And if the things that are happening every day is not the things that we want, then we need to put more of that we want into our self-talk more often. We need to say that self-talk more often. And that's where that that power of the magnet, or the power of attraction, the law of attraction, comes in. So although I'm sure that father obviously ordered the pizza because he probably knew his kids always ask for pizza, and he figured that one of them would ask for pizza. I think it's just a nice way just to remind us that we need to keep on affirming and reaffirming what we want, not what our struggles are, not what even our experience is, because that's a really difficult thing. I'm saying it now from what I've learned from Hazel and from the trainings we've been on, but it's not the easy thing to do, but it's a simple thing to do, is to know exactly what it is we want and focus on that, focus our energy on it, focus what we do every day. How many of us are still even doing a self-talk? Getting back to basics and starting to repeat the things that we want, to focus on the things that we want. I think that will give us the results that we want as well. So keep taking those actions that we know will eventually get us what we want, and not focus on the 80%. Because look, 80% is a big number. It's a really big number. If you think of, let me try and make it easy for myself, an hour and 40 minutes. That's an hour and 20 minutes, if my maths is correct there, where you're going to get what you don't want. So most of the time that you spend, the result is going to be a result that you don't want. So I don't know if you guys want to maybe just give some input on that thought process that I'm going through there. I'm just trying to draw from the trainings that we've done in the past, the basics, the self-talks, the dream chart, and to deflect any of these ideas that to be, because Coulson, like I'm saying, this is not just, I don't think this is something only you see or you feel or you think. And it's also not just a color thing. It's not a black or white, brown or whatever thing. I think we all start to grasp at straws when things aren't going our way. And especially when we're confronted with people who are very adamant in their ways, and they aren't even really listening to us. So any thoughts that can really help us to just find some wisdom and some clarity and some value that will deflect away from the thinking that, just for example, that it's a colored thing, or people feel they can trust white people more. because those are all generalizations. Right? No matter how we look at it, no matter how much % of that is true in your experience, it's just generalizations. That's my opinion. Anybody care to comment or to add to that?
Hi, Russell.
I just want to. Okay.
uh,
Okay, Gail.
uh,
You want to go first? Okay, it's fine.
okay. Okay. I just wanted to comment on that too. I also think it's generalization, but Kusum, I had the same thoughts as you. For me, I also thought it was a colored thing. I also thought, and I was looking at when it comes to rallies and recognition, and then I thought, I'm doing the basics. I'm doing what New Life expects from me to do, but I don't get the same results. And until I did introspective in myself, and then I thought, what may work for you may not work for me, and especially in different ways. And that I also had a conversation with Hazel also about it. And then at first I thought, no, Hazel is right in saying you're not doing what we are teaching you. And she's right. I was sitting in the training, getting all excited, making my head, but when I come at home, sometimes I don't do that notes get put. Then I only realized for the next training, oh my word, I didn't even open that book. I didn't even do what we discussed to do. And that went on for quite some time, not just for for quite some time. And Kusama, I don't know if you remember, I said it was the beginning of last year, not this year, the beginning of last year, when I did research, and I thought to myself, no, I'm gonna change things for me. And yes, I get my training, but I'm gonna put it into practice. And if it don't work for me, I'm gonna change it for me. And that is why I was half of the year last year. I was successful, and the same this year. But you know what I found out? And I also thought it was a color thing, but it's not a racist thing. It's not a color thing. I realized that because at the end of last year, I also started getting the darker skin people in my areas. I also recruited Congo people and all that. But I was excited. I've got people in my business that everybody else got that I always admired. The truth, that people is not active in my business as active as they are in the sons or the other people business, in the Z business. And so I attracted the same people, but they are not active. And I couldn't understand. And I started to change my approach again. And tonight, I actually got my answers, where Russell has played this video of learn, receive, and hurt. And then, you know, how come I relate to this now? Because I started changing what works for me. I don't talk over the phone anymore. I approach them. I do face to face, and I know Hazel don't like that because she say you actually wasting your time and your finances in that. But my approach to first-time prospects, I need to do that. I feel like it's almost like, yes, I know people say I do have a pastoral certificate and I do disciple, but I believe that if somebody comes to the saving soul of the Lord, I need to disciple that person. I can't just leave them to be. And that is what I'm doing. Even my downlines, if they have prospects and they ask me for help, I go with and I do my prospects. And that is how I started being successful. For this year, I have qualified in my status by doing that. And I enjoy it. And not that, out of that, I get my referrals. And I do my referrals also. So I'm not actually successful now in my own business, but also in my downlines. And they came to realize that this is what it, and that is what you play tonight. That I realized what it is all about. It is not just colored people, it's all people that goes through that. And what you've done now tonight, I identified the prospecting that I've been doing now, because it's not prospects that is new people that I don't know. Yes, there is 2 prospects that I didn't know, 3 actually, but it's the prospects that I did a few years ago and in the past. It's them that came back to me now with new prospects. So I believe it is, and you're right, Kusum, you need to search yourself, and I need to ask myself, how can I work it to have a success in this? So you need to change your approach. And for me, that is all about it. And I realize it's not a colored thing or a racist thing. I realize it's all people things. It's hurt people, hurt people, and to learn people and those things. I think is that Russell mentioned now tonight. And I think because just go over that video again that Russell played tonight, and then I know you won't be so hard on yourself once you've done that, because I was also just as hard on myself. I didn't want to do the business at one stage. I wanted to just leave it, but I don't know what made me just go on. And now I realize, wow, thank you for just going on, and Hazel just pondering on my head and whatever. But now I realize it's not just me, it's everybody. So I don't know if it makes sense.
Thanks for that, girl. Do we have anybody else that wants to add to that comment?
Russell, I just wanted to say to my auntie, you know, in this business, if we have given them the information, you know, because we are not here really, we want to sell the product, but we also want to educate people. I always leave a prospect as long as I've given you the information. It's entirely up to you whether you want to first get hurt or learn and be inspired to do and to be able to, you know, then I just walk away. And then it's like planting the seed. If we're not going to water the seed is not going to grow. We are planting the seeds. Doesn't matter how long it takes for that seed to grow. It will eventually germinate into something maybe bigger that we ourselves are not even prepared for and know what is out there for us. So as long as we're talking to people and we're giving the information over, the rest is in God's hands. You know, and we must just believe that we are doing what we're supposed to do, like Gail said. And I also like the prospecting by face to face. For me, over the phone, it doesn't work for me also. So Gail, I do the same thing. I go to the prospect, I sit down with him, or I do a presentation, and it makes me feel that I have done a quality, how can I say, explanation for the person and for the people that are there, and that are not, because if you're on the phone, you don't know if that person is busy cooking. You might be even listening to you. They might just come back to the front and just, yes, yeah. But if you speak face to face, they can see how excited you are. They look at your expression. They look at your excitement, your movement,
Yeah.
your eye contact, and you can see whether that person is really drawn into you or not. And when you leave there, you feel good about yourself because you
Yeah.
know you've done the best that you could.
And they see your
And-
passion as well.
Yeah, and they see, you're passionate about this, and they are drawn into that. So that is why I said we need to be inspired. We need to be passionate when we bring over, the presentation to the prospects, and just leave it over to them to decide. It's not everybody that's going to decide, and everybody say yes, it is expensive. We know that. I mean, we're struggling as distributors to buy our products ourselves. But if we don't sell the product, we won't be able to buy the product. So that is also something that we need to bring across to people. Okay, if you can't afford it, buy one thing and then you tell somebody else about it, and that person buys. And I was just telling one prospect, I said, I actually made a comparison with her. I said, you know how much money you would have saved if you had to now just buy it for yourself. She said, really? Are you sure? I said, that is what you would have saved. So sometimes we must just bring it across to them so that they can also see, how much money they can save if they actually buy it for themselves. Yeah. So that is my
Yeah.
input. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Rashida. Just to clarify, especially with the Creeling products, it's so easy for us to show people that the products aren't expensive. And just like we talked about the law of attraction in the previous video that I played, we shouldn't be using those words, not even in the trainings like this, because I think that there's still then a level that we have to grow into in our own understanding about the product. There shouldn't be a time where anybody hears us say that the products are expensive, because they're not. If you look at the per liter price, it's just, there's no way that you can say that, unless you're comparing it to some of these things where you buy a 5 liter thing for 10 Rand or something. If you want to compare it to things that are going to hurt you, then fine. Then you might as well just clean your house with Coke or vinegar. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a world-class product that can actually clean your house and save you money at the same time, and do it safely, that you don't have to worry about your kids drinking the stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there also. I think we need to become really, what is the right word? Stern with each other about the words that we use. If Hazel was on the course, she would have jumped on this. So we need to also, in her absence, we need to also jump on it and carry on that sort of culture in the team of not allowing ourselves to say these things. Because if we're going to keep on saying it, people are going to keep on hearing it, and they're going to keep on believing it, even though it's not true. If you speak factually and you look at the price comparison, how can we say that it's true? I like what Rashida said about prospecting more face to face. When we spoke about it last week, and we spoke about the library and the market day events and these things, when I went putting up posters, I got more conversations and more numbers from speaking to people about putting up the posters than actually from the posters themselves. And it made me realize that what I should actually be doing is to block out hours of my time to go and speak to as many people as possible about, can I put a post up on your notice board, especially if I know that they don't have a notice board. Whereas my mindset when I initially did it was, I hope they have a notice board so I can put the post up so more people can see it. But actually, what I need is to have more conversations with people, which means I need to speak to more people, which means that I need to block out more time to go and look to put posters up with and ask people to put posters up. Whether or not they have a notice board, whether or not I'm going to put up a poster, that's irrelevant. The point is that I'm speaking to more people. So for me, that prospect more face to face, I feel like it does really help. But it also depends on what are you doing with that time that you spend with the person, and do you follow up, which is my biggest weakness in the past. So the other thing that you said, I think Coulson mentioned it about decanting. And the thing is, Charlie, almost every time he speaks about the cleaning products, he mentions how important it is to go into somebody's house and decant the product in front of them. And I had a chat with Chantal the other night, it was actually last night, because she was out still very late with somebody down the road, and they were talking about all these different businesses and people that this other lady knows, and how the products could help them. And they were discussing how this lady that Chantal went to go visit can use it in her business, and that we need to have a demonstration day at their place at some point. And I was saying to Chantal, you know what, there's people, you can take it a level further than what Charlie is saying and showing them how to decant it. Yes, we can show them how to decant it 1 liter in 6 liters, but people are sometimes a bit lazy to do that. So what if we just started buying in bulk and selling it diluted rather? Because then people would easily see the value, and the cost of it would then compete and outperform the other products on the market that can do something similar without half killing in the process. Mary Lisa, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think Coulson was talking about selling people half a container of supplements, not the not
the supplements,
decant.
not the
Yeah, not the no, that's not what she meant. I know what she means, because she used to sell,
okay.
you know, half a TNN or
Apologies,
half.
Coulson.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I said that anyways, because I felt like I wanted to get it off my chest. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask in relation to everything that we've been saying now, I just wanted to finish off with a question, because I think we've gone quite far over our time now, about 11 minutes already. And you guys are welcome to attempt to give an answer if you want to, but I actually want to bring this up again next week. And the question is, in the past, we've had this term in the group, especially when we used to go to the Godalis for the Monday night training. They used to speak about qualifying a prospect. And so the question that I have is, what is a qualified prospect? Does anybody want to give it a shot, or can we just post that question in the group for discussion next week?
I can't remember all of it, but I know Fraser Brooks is very strong on this, to qualify your prospect, to find out what their needs are and why they would be interested. But I can't remember all the points. But that is basically, before you just start blabbing on, is to qualify that you're speaking to the right person.
Definitely. I think the reason that this question popped in my head is because there were so many concerns and issues that were brought up tonight. And I feel like that's one of the basics that we've definitely not covered enough in any of our trainings. You know, we've done Dream Chart, Wheel of Life. We've done setting goals and tasks and doing blitzes and all kinds of things, but we haven't really delved deep enough into a qualified prospect. And I think if we mastered that, I think a lot of the issues that came up tonight will actually be a lot easier for us to handle. It's not just about objection handling. It's about first finding out, like Mary Lisa rightfully said, what is it the person wants? Like, we know what they need. You know, their leg's about to fall off. We might need some sellotape, but that's actually not what they care about. They don't want that. They're fine with losing the leg. So what is it that they actually want now? And let's help them with that. yes, we can offer other solutions as well, but if we aren't offering them a solution that they're actually looking for, it's no wonder that they're going to be apprehensive or negative or whatever. And I think that's one of the most difficult things for us as Neolife distributors, specifically because we have such amazing products, because we've seen how well they work, because we even have those stories of other people where it's worked for them. It's so difficult for us to look at someone, they have a specific problem, whether it be money or health, and not address that immediately. But is that even what that person's trying to solve right now? Maybe we're just being a bit too hasty to solve a problem rather than look at what is the biggest issue, what is the biggest pain point now, and then starting that invite off with maybe, and especially I think one of the things was that people don't, or you don't have to address it immediately. Wait a few days or wait until the next day and call them back and say, you know what, you mentioned that you're struggling with your diabetes and this, but it's fine. You go to your doctor, you only trust doctors and whatever. But while you were talking, for some reason, you mentioned the stain that you had or the mold in your shower or something. What if I could show you a way to clear up that mold in your shower and that stain in your clothes, while at the same time finding a way to make some extra money on the side? Would you be interested to? So now you've seen a issue with the health issue, but they've actually said to you, and you maybe pick up on it, that you know what, they only trust doctors. They're not going to trust you because you maybe not even, like in Mary Lisa's case, a nurse, for example. So start off building that credibility and trust with something as simple as taking the black off the back of their shoulder, the shirt collar, and then clear the mold in their shower, and then build it up to a point where they're like, wow, you've shown me 2 or 3 products and everything you said, it actually does. And then bring, a while back, you've not seen how amazing these products are. And a while back, you mentioned something about your diabetes. How is that going now? Is the products that the doctors are giving you working for you or not? And build on that then, once you've got some skin in the game with that person, because maybe sometimes the solution we're bringing is for too big a problem for that person to trust us. I don't know. So that is why I just thought that the question, what is a qualified prospect, is a brilliant question for us to research and see what can you come up with for our next talk on next Sunday. Anybody want to have any final comments before we close? Okay, in that case, I'm going to put
So yes, that will be awesome, because I think I was thinking now when you spoke about it, I was thinking about the last prospect that I went this morning. She actually wanted the products for a friend that had cancer, but then she ended up identifying what she needs, and I identified that she actually needed, and her whole family. So I think by qualifying whatever, and when I left there, she knew what she wanted, and I also knew what she needed. So do you think that is part of qualifying your prospect?
I think anything that has to do with the prospect making a decision falls into the category of qualifying a prospect. But let's not steal any ideas from next week. Let's go back and actually try and get some real nuggets for next week, because I'm sure all of us will have some really interesting ideas of what that actually is, and some tips and things that maybe you could even use this week and then attempt and let us know how well that works. Cool. So I just wanted to get your feedback on what was said so far in response to what you're saying, and if anything really stood out for you and helped, because that's really what we want to do on these talks, is to actually help each other to overcome challenges.
Russell, I sometimes don't want to be on a self-talk. I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest. I sometimes want to say how I feel, because which platform are you going to get it? If you being bombarded or you're being thrown off the pedestal. I know we've had all this trainings, but where are you going to get an opportunity to talk about, to kind of not talk self-talk, talk realistic. What is happening to me now? And I know you put in you change all the negatives into a positive. But it's a self-talk. So, and I know you've got to start believing in your self-talk. So I'm not going to make it long, but sometimes I feel I need a platform. And that is why I appreciate my buddy. I will not, even if she must get angry with what I repeat to her, but I have an opportunity to say it the way I sometimes feel it. Because I can't put a plaster on it all the time. I feel like putting a plaster on it. So sometimes I don't want to have a self-talk. I want to have a real talk. Thank you. But that I have with my buddy. And that is why I want to encourage people even on this. I don't know if this is the buddy group because I haven't started off with you people. But I think a buddy is somebody where you can say sometimes or offload, kind of.
That's why I also said when you were speaking, I was taking some notes, and I was also just letting you. That's why I say I use the word vent as well, because I think that's more what it is. Because it is frustrating when we're dealing with the 80%. And my main point about what I was saying earlier about not using the wrong wording, especially on the trainings, it's not for us really. It's more in case our prospects end up seeing the videos or end up being on one of the calls. I know in this call in particular, we don't invite a prospect, but it's important that I think it's important that we get to vent and speak to each other and let sort of offload the frustrations of the 80%. But at the same time, something that Gail said also that's I think is so important, and I think this is one thing that I have done well in the past to relieve myself of that frustration is introspection. And just looking at, I think it goes two ways. One is, what could I do better next time? And the other thing is, maybe that person just wouldn't be interested in no matter what I say. And maybe I'm spending too much time with that person that's just saying no the whole time. Maybe I need to be speaking to more people at a time, and rather than and then finding out who's interested and focusing more time on them, or just adjusting. Like I think Gail also mentioned it, just adjusting your approach slightly the whole time, because everybody on the call now, and maybe Rashida is one of the younger ones in terms of how long she's been with us in the team, but everybody on the call has shown the value that they bring in terms of the wisdom, and they've attended most of the trainings, all the different types of trainings already. So there's nothing that we, if I can say, we don't know. But I think there's a lot that we can improve on by doing those basics again and again, even though we've done it before. Because I've seen in the past that just designing the same training that I've done already, how I still am learning each time I do it. I think of a new way, a new thing, a new idea, and I realize a new mistake that I had made in the past, So there's so much that I feel that we can continuously grow on, and it wasn't to sort of mark irrelevant anything that you said. It was more about the fact that we need to almost want to say be more confident, because that was mentioned earlier on as well, in what we do know. And sometimes the people that you're speaking to are just never going to say yes. One of my biggest mistakes or weaknesses is revisiting the same no's over and over again. And I always start at the top of the list. I speak to the same people again about the same things, and they say no again about the same things. You know, those are the kind of improvements that maybe we should be making. I don't know if what I'm saying is making any sense to anybody or Coulson to you specifically on what we're discussing tonight.
Yeah, Russell, that's why I say I think it's important for us to have a buddy that you at least have a platform where you can be real. But you have to do introspection all the time. What is it that you haven't touched yet, or what is it that you need to do over, or that you must put more emphasis on?
Okay. Thank you, guys. I think we're gonna leave it for now. I'm going to add all my notes that I made here, and obviously the recording eventually when it's available. And let's see what we can come up with by next week, and what sort of ideas we can come up with for what is a qualified prospect, but also how do we qualify a prospect. Just think of all the questions that would go with that as well. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I hope everybody's learned something tonight, and that we can take what we've learned and implement it in our business. Thank you, guys.